Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this week's An-Noor, The Light. We have a smorgasbord of stories told from across this beautiful country that serve to entertain and inform. Let's jump right in as we head to KwaZulu-Natal to spend the day with the inspiring Farah Manju.
So often we focus on our physical appearance and well-being without realizing that it is the emotional and mental state that affects our quality of life. Farah Manju specializes in various forms of healing that cater to not only the body, but one's overall state of health and balance.
I am a female and kids empowerment coach. So I offer various types of holistic healing and empowerment for women and kids. Are mainly centralized on the journey for kids, life coaching for kids, and for learning problems. Specifically, I use the brain gym and the educational kinesiology. I focus more on the journey for adults, for their depression, overcoming all types of emotional baggage that they need to release. And when they come to me with health issues, I offer them the Afia healing. And then I have many clients that come to me with career difficulties. So they need some direction and guidance in which career to follow and to find their life purpose. So I help them with the life coaching to find a way, their soul's gift and their ability to find what they're meant to do. I always wanted to become a teacher, but in the midst of doing my Bachelor of Education degree, I also got married and had a child. And I was working, and things were financially very tough. And I had to put my studies on hold to, basically to help my husband support the home. And he was very abusive, and I went through a divorce. And when I remarried, I went through serious depression. And I had to seek out help, through the medical way. And what's different from the medical route that I went through, they just work on the symptoms. Where the holistic healing, it goes right down into the root cause. So it goes back to where it all started, so the source of all the problems. Like from my experience, it started when I was a little girl, when I was like under 6 years old, growing up without a dad. And feeling abandoned by the fact that he left us. I always felt that I won't be anybody because I don't have a dad. So I had to work through those issues in order to achieve my potential. Yeah.
Farah is passionate about empowering both women and children in accessing their true potential to create the best version of themselves through various healing techniques. Afia healing is one such technique that has brought her patients relief.
We believe that everything is made out of energy. So the energy healing modality, it works with the natural breath that we breathe in from the earth and we channel through the practitioner into the client. So in many cultures, it's known as the chakras or the qi in Chinese. So it's the 7 chakras in different points of the body that we balance that, and the whole body is then in balance. And you actually feel the body moving in different directions as it is balancing. And the Afia healing, lots of old people love it because it's a very passive way of doing therapy where they don't have to talk. So it's a very physical, hands-on therapy. So if they have like a swollen knee or foot problem or their legs are paining, the Afia healing is excellent for that, and they get instant relief.
With Farah, I've grown quite a bit from having a lot of negative emotions to more positive outlook on life, and a lot of calming techniques that she's done with me. It helped me a lot.
Farah noticed that honing a healthy body and mind starts at a young age and started to include brain gym as part of her services.
And stretch it up. Like that. So you get a nice arm stretch and you're balancing on one leg. Okay. So how the brain gym for kids work is that there's different movements that we use that integrate the right and left brain. So it helps with any types of learning barriers, even if you are a high achiever or you have like real like dyslexia or autism. These BrainGym movements will assist with that learning barrier. And how it works is that it balances the right and left brain, and it also activates the midbrain. So they can focus and concentrate and utilize their whole brain functioning, and they can think optimally.
As a qualified life coach, Farah has helped countless people to work through emotional, mental, and physical barriers in their lives.
This journey has been one of self-development, self-improvement, self-motivation, self-belief, more so in building a connection with your Creator. Because a lot of us, we don't know how to build that connection with Allah and to come back to His love. And sometimes we need people in our lives to help us to journey back to who we are, why we were sent down, our purpose in life. That is what I've found to have discovered with Farah.
So in doing this work, it's connecting my client with their source, which is light, and light upon light, which is Allah. So this is my way of showing them they don't need to be dependent on anyone apart from the source of light and love, which is their Creator. So this is what I do in my session. Even though I'm a little stressed, but I believe that the issues at home will be sorted out with the help of Allah, because I believe in His will and I love and accept myself completely. Okay? And if you cry, it's fine. Good. That's how these therapies work, because I'm not the healer, so-called healer. I'm just the conduit, the facilitator of their own healing, which is coming through via Allah. So that's how I feel it's a very soulful way of healing yourself, where you're depending only on Allah's ability to help the process.
In our busy lives, it is often hard to take stock of our internal struggles. Farah Manjoo encourages a way of life that supports a focus on one's innermost self to promote the best version of the self on the outside.
Our social media presence allows us to interact with our viewers. It provides a platform where questions can be sent, events can be advertised, and comments and suggestions be made about the show. Details of it are on screen. Let's find out what the latest books, tech, and apps are for this month.
Secrets of a Muslim Heart, A Journey into Spiritual Awakening, is a collection of poems and essays by South African poet Tasmin Mohammed that center around her experiences of being a Muslim woman living in a Western society. This collection of work charts her remarkable personal journey to find and assume a true Muslim identity. Through this journey of self-discovery, she is led to discovering a renewed purpose to life and a deeper relationship with her Creator, an experience the writer describes herself as my awakening from a worldly slumber. Secrets of a Muslim Heart speaks to everyone seeking change or inspiration to find a deeper meaning to their lives and reveals the hidden wisdom that lies within the process of going into Skaf. It is an important contemporary book on Muslim spirituality and addresses the issues and challenges facing Muslim women today. Do you have the need for an app that can make life easy by storing your notes in the cloud? The Rocket Wave Notebook allows users the ability to write notes onto a page using a pen and uploading this to the cloud. Here it is safely stored while the page can be erased and used again and again. Not only can you store in the cloud, but you use the app to send your notes to some of your favorite cloud apps ready and waiting for you to use. Yasmin Mohamed is a 21st century Muslima using all the tools available to spread her message of Islam. This has gained her a loyal following who love to hear from her, and it's now possible via the Yasmin Mohamed Islamic audio app that has been done in partnership with Muslim Central. Some of Yasmin's best lectures, quotes and writings can be found by scrolling through the app and tapping on something the listener would like to hear. Muslim Central has partnered with many influential Muslims, and Yasmin joins a growing stable of thinkers and speakers. The app is available for download in both the Google Play Store as well as iTunes.
The Muslim community of Johannesburg will be marking 100 years of the Nuclear Mosque. We visited there to bring you this story.
The history of Islam in South Africa can easily be traced through the existence of mosques and the surrounding communities. Wherever Muslims establish themselves, the mosque is always the very first structure to be built. One such mosque in Nuclear Johannesburg commemorates 100 years.
Well, the mosque originally in Nuclear was basically a corrugated, old, dilapidated building. It had two little wudu khanas outside with a roof, corrugated roof, and the toilets were outside. I have fond memories because as a youngster we used to play cricket in the yard of the mosque. Apart from that, the time during Taraweeh, when the Hufaz used to read and the train used to go past, the whole mosque used to shudder. It was such an old building.
The masjid started, 100 years ago when this community didn't resemble what it looks like today. It was a very mixed community, a lot of Malays, a lot of Indians. So all of those groupings came together to establish this mosque.
My late dad, Haji Ibrahim Wadwala, was involved with Haji Abu Bakr Japi, Haji Ibrahim Latif, and Haji Sali Crowley. The four gentlemen were the nucleus of the committee that got the title deeds or got it handed over from the so-called Cockney community who had this mosque up to 1965.
However, the mosque over the years has taken over a very Malay tradition, and those are the traditions that we're trying to celebrate now going forward. So we're looking at the Malay culture, the Malay traditions, and we're trying to tell people that these are the important traditions and cultures that we should be celebrating with our centenary.
Nuclear is an impoverished community that arose after the influx of miners and support staff that came with the gold rush. While it's not the oldest mosque in the area, it has been the foundation of this community over its 100-year history.
I think that the Nuclear Masjid has always been a beacon of hope in this community. And if you look at the humble beginnings from where the mosque, how it started out as a little tin shack that basically tried to serve the needs of the community at the time, and how it's grown, and with it, the community around it, their connection to the mosque, and the role that the masjid has played in the life, in uplifting the lives of the community at large here in Nuclear, then I feel that it's something worthwhile to celebrate. This 100 years is really a milestone for the masjid in this community.
Like many other mosques, it started from humble beginnings in the form of a tin structure, and through financial contributions from across South Africa, a brick and mortar structure was finally built.
And I think what I remember about the new mosque is the fact that when they collected, the first person that donated money to them gave them 786 rand. So that was the first one. Then they went around, there was another real nice incident where this old lady called them from the street into the house, said they must wait there. She's been collecting money, a resident of Nuclear. The idea was to collect money from the Nuclear residents first and then go out into the larger public. She had given them 2 rand, but with what love and such wonderful du'as, and they really received it. I can still remember, how fondly they received it and how happy they were to receive it. So with all that effort, they managed to build the mosque.
The Nuclear Mosque has also been a center of learning for generations of Muslims. Its madrasa was one of the first to offer both secular and Islamic teachings. Many of the teachers spent their entire lives in service of Islam.
I've just been at the madrasa, I think 35 years. So my whole life, so to say, more of my years were spent at the madrasa. I started with, I think it was a class 3. And they were about the age of 8 or 9. I haven't taught smaller children. For all the years, I was mostly with the bigger girls and boys. And at the end of the year, when you've taught a child from Alif, and the child can read Quran by the end of the year, that is the best payment you can get. Just to see that the happiness of that child. The child don't know what it does to a teacher, but your heart is so happy. Many of them came back and said, Ustada, my granny says she was in your class. And I felt so honored, that now I can teach their grandchildren. I don't need to say anything further in that, because it's awesome. My hope is that Allah must grant those people, the committee or whoever is in charge, they must be sincere. Allah Ta'ala must give them sincerity. Allah Ta'ala must give the people around these areas the hidayat to send their children to madrasa, because there are some good teachers here. And may Allah give them the strength and the energy and the umar to build further, because this is a legacy we must leave behind, inshallah.
سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Numerous events have been planned for the commemoration, and the highlight will be a dhikr or prayer gathering at the end of the year. For this committee, 100 years of history is only the beginning, and there is still a long way to go for Islam in the community.
Commemorations such as this further cement the long history of Islam in South Africa, something we, as Muslims, should be extremely proud of. Time now for this month's events calendar.
The Pre-Eid al-Adha Expo offers a one-stop shop for the upcoming holy day. Find clothes, spices, food, and many other necessities under one roof. This year's expo promises to be bigger and better, so come early to avoid disappointment. Goodwood Islamic Society proudly launches its free legal advice centre. To book an appointment, please WhatsApp the letters LAC and your full name to the following number 078 021 6394. To be eligible, you need to be a pensioner, Indigenous, disabled persons residing in northern suburbs. All applicants will be subject to a strict screening process to confirm qualification. This is a free legal advice centre only, and they cannot act on your behalf. Being Muslim 101 offers new Muslims and other Muslims an opportunity to get a basic overview and introduction to Islam. These classes happen on a weekly basis and cater to all who are interested in learning the basics of what it takes to be a Muslim. The South African National Zakah Fund offers a variety of classes to upskill participants and thereby create better opportunities at either employment or starting their own businesses. These courses offer an introduction to what it takes to register and run a business. Classes happen weekly. For more information, contact Sanzaf in Durban directly.
If you have an event we should know about, then please let us know well in advance and we'll be sure to feature it here. Travel is up next.
Car enthusiasts are in for a treat at the Wynand Auto Museum as it boasts a vast collection of vintage vehicles.
It is probably the biggest collection of classic cars under one roof in South Africa. It's from street rods to Ferraris and Porsches, but we've also got the cars which would be close to their hearts, which takes people back to the cars their fathers had and their grandfathers had, which they also enjoy looking at.
The owner has had a love affair with cars from a young age, and this grew into a career of sorts. Many of the cars here are used on movie sets and are specifically built to the requirements of the production it services.
Cape Town being the Hollywood of South Africa, they don't necessarily make commercials and films on brand new cars, it's got to be period correct. Musical videos are being manufactured here big time. Also our commercial work, they come here because they do not have such a collection as we have in our car graveyard.
Visitors can spend an entire day going through the museum with many fascinating, rare and interesting modes of transport on show. For the car lover, this place is not to be missed and can be accessed 7 days a week. Right in the heart of Cape Town city centre is an eatery that has diners lining up. The buffet-style venue offers delectable dishes for a low price and has patrons returning day after day.
The type of food that we have is Mediterranean and a bit of Indian cuisine. From pastas, pizza, sushi, as well as ribs and prawns. We also have barbecue chicken, curries as well. We've got dal, savory rice, chicken biryani, seafood paella. It's quite a number of dishes that we serve here.
Food varies from week to week, but variety is what makes people return. There's Indian, Pakistani, Chinese and traditional English dishes that are topped up and refreshed after every sitting.
It's a 2-hour sitting, and for your 2 hours you have bottomless cool drinks and desserts. But all you do is you take a plate, you indulge in anything that you feel necessary to indulge in. It is good food at a low price. We open at 11 in the morning till 11 at night. You can call us to make a reservation or you can just walk through.
A day out in the city centre often drains visitors, and this is the perfect place to fill up that belly with good, home-cooked foods. Muizenberg is perhaps lesser known than the Atlantic seaboard and Camps Bay, but what it lacks for in variety, it makes up in sheer beauty. One of its biggest attractions is surfing, and early morning walks along this coastline are sure to be entertaining as one watches the hundreds of surfers carve and barrel their way through the waves. The area is also well known for its great white shark population as well as whales that breed during the spring. Very often, walkers are surprised by breaching whales nursing their calves with fishing boats sailing to and from their daily catch. This side of the city also has some of the best Victorian buildings in Cape Town, and its old English flair can be felt even when walking through the neighbourhood. These days, however, newer developments are springing up all over, but the charm remains. The Muizenberg Walk remains a favourite pastime amongst young and old.
I have filled almost every possible holiday with ideas from where to go and see from this show. I hope you are taking notes too. Assalamu alaikum from me, Zahra Robinson.